Right, well, what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to change the bolt on the Coronet Regent.
So why do you need to do that?
Well, what's happened is, in the quality assurance department, where they do quality checks, quality control, Record Power have discovered that the bolt that's actually in the Regent and the Envoy needs to be changed. The reason being that it's got weld round here, that if I show you that one, can you see this is the new one, the weld round there.
Yeah.
When they've had a look at it, it's caused them some concern, and they've actually thought, right, rather than, they've gone prevention rather than cure, and they've decided rather than run the risk of anybody being hurt, we're going to stop everybody from using the lathes. We'll issue them with new bolts, and then the bolts can be fitted. So the reason for this video is so as I can show people how to fit the bolt. Craig's already done a great video on it. He sent me a copy and I watched it through, and really it's a belt and braces job. We're both going to do it. It may go on my website or my YouTube, or it might go on our Record Powers, but that's the reason behind changing this. So this is the Regent lathe, and it's also going to be changed on the Envoy lathe as well.
Well, that's good, isn't it? Because health and safety is the most important thing.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of health and safety, I've got my back belt here, and again, it's not too heavy that it's a two-man job, it's a single-man job, it's okay, but I like to protect my back, and I put the back belt on just to be able to give some protection while I lift the actual head of the lathe off. I'm going to protect my eyes as well, take my normal glasses off. I can see better without them close up as well, but I've got my protective wraparound glasses. Don't need my face shield for this because we're not actually going to be making any shavings. I've got a pair of gloves. These are the rubber based gloves, which give me a good grip onto the actual head itself. To start off with, I'll have to take my glove off just to get this locking stud out. There's a locking stud in here, Janet, and what that is designed to stop the head from coming off. So I'll take that off there to start with, and then we'll just remove that. For that you need an 8mm Allen key, and the 8mm Allen key will just loosen it off, and we'll also loosen the bolt at the bottom which secures it in place. So I'll just put my gloves back on. So I've took the lock and stud out. What I need to do now is just take the bar which actually secures the head in place, put the bar into there, and just loosen the actual head off in here. I'll have to do it into that one there, Janet. So there we are. That's loosened it off there, and then I can try it and I can see how loose the head is here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm actually going to lift this off here, and I'm going to lift it onto the board. So if you don't mind stepping back, and then let you see the view there. I've got my back belt on, I've got my gloves on, and I'm going to secure it under this arm here, so I've got a good hold of it. I'm going to just take it off there gently. I've got it there, lift it forward onto the wood, and I'm just going to ease that forward like that. Bring that here, ease it forward. The cable has got sufficient stretch in it to be able to move the head. This is with a lathe I've been using this lathe for over a year now, for us to push it like that and then to bring it round so that I've got the actual mechanism here that we're going to take out so that we can see it, to be able to remove it in the cameras. So what we've got on here, we've got a 30mm nut. So I've got it's a wrench to take that off, and I've set it to the actual size of the nut. I'm going to take the nut off. It's a locking nut, so it will be tight to start with, and I'm keeping my thumb on here because what I don't want is for the springs and the bearings to come out and then have to spend a little bit of time looking for them. Before you do this, if there's any shavings underneath your lathe, give it a good clean out, because if they do fall off, it's easier to find them, and a magnet is a very, very useful tool for that. So right, take the nut off there, like that. There we go. So right, taking the plate off like that, just carefully take it off. I'm watching the bottom to make sure the bearing doesn't come out. If I show you there, can you see? There's springs with little bearings on there. There's the bearing. There's grease on them, so the grease should hold it nicely into place. There we go. Pop that down on the bench carefully so as you don't lose those bearings. Then what we need to do, this is the actual piece that we're going to replace, but in order to be able to replace it, what we need is a 2.5mm Allen key. I've got one here, and I'm just going to loosen off. There's a little stud there, there's 2 lines, there's actually 4 location indentations there. They're like countersinks, and that's for the bearings to sit in when we swivel the head round. So now I'm going to loosen this off here, and there's actually 2 little 2.5mm group screws in here. Again, when you're taking that out, be careful, put your hand down there to try and make sure that you don't lose it, because again, if it drops into the shavings, it's going to be difficult to find. So I'm going to put that onto there, put my finger onto there, and just leave that there. Inside there is the actual 2.5mm locking stud, so that needs to come out as well, but it doesn't need to come all the way out. All we need to do is actually just slacken it off until it's about halfway out. You'll determine if it's out because you'll be able to lift that up like that. Now it's there, it's out. Okay, so there's the bar like that, lift it up, there's the bar out. That's the object that's to be replaced. Now if you have a look at this, you can see the weld around there, there's not a mark on it. So in a year's worth of use, that shows no fatigue at all. But that's only visual. What Record Power will have done is they'll have done x-rays, and they'll have done checks, they'll have done strength checks in the factory to make sure that they were within the CE regulations, but what they want to do is beef it up, and that's what they've done. So if you look at that one, you look at that one, you can see the difference. So to me, if I look at that, my description of that is that's a belt and braces job.
Yes.
So that's going to really, it eliminates any problems that you might have. And it's simple enough to replace, because all we do is we lift that up, pop that into there, slide that into there, like that, and back in. And that's it, that's in place now. So what I need to do now is tighten up that little 2.5mm grub screw from there, like that. So that then, when that's tight, you don't need to over tighten it. I've said before, the engineering on the Record Power lathes is superb. So we need to just put that one onto there. Again, careful not to drop it into the shavings. Make sure you've got it on the end of your Allen key into there like that, and just wind that on like that. And there we are. As soon as that's just tight, there, just nip it up. That's enough, and that's it. So there we've got the bar on here, and that bar will slide up and down nicely on there now. Back to the locking stud and the plate. Now this is the tricky bit. What we don't want to do is drop those bearings out like that. So carefully go into there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my finger on that bearing there to make sure it doesn't drop out like that. And I'm just going to put that bar into the centre there, so that when the bar goes on like that, I'm going to straighten it up now, keep my finger on that one, locate the indentation or the countersink there. There it is, it's in there now. Then I'll put this locking nut on, and again it is a locking nut, so you can tighten it so far by hand, but then you've got to do the rest with the spanner. So make sure. So what I'm doing, I'm just tightening up the 30mm nut onto there so that those bearings are in place. Just tighten it just enough, and then take your bar and loosen your bar off like that. That probably there, that's it. That's probably sufficient to be able to just position that so you can get it on to the lathe bed like that, because you need the clearance, but you don't want it sliding about all over the place either. So again, got my back belt on, I'm going to swivel it round here, it's in place, pull that up over there, get your arm around there to cup it, hand on there, lift it back and locate that onto there. That's it, slide it on, and we should be good to go. Now if I take this bar here, Janet, and I just tighten that down there like that, we should be able to secure with that there to the bed like that. Now all I need to do now is slide this a little bit farther along the bed, which I'll take this sled off the bed now. That's the one that we've replaced on there. That's the one that's been replaced. As you can see, it has got a full weld round, and but you know, you've got to admire a company that decides to inform people that there may be a risk and stop it from happening, and that's the whole idea of this. There we go. I'm going to take this sled off here for now, and it's a great little tool this for me to be able to turn my lathe bed into a bench, and put that over there. What I want to do is just slide this head. I'll have to loosen the bar off a little bit more. I want to slide the head there, just along the bed. There we go. You can see it slides nice and easily on there, but then what I want to do is just tighten that up a little bit underneath here. See, I don't need my back belt now, so I can take it off. I've done all the heavy work. Just tighten that up under there, like that, and just micro adjust it. There we are. Get your bar, and with the bar, let's see how much we need to do. Right, now that is the tightest point there. So what I want is just, can you see it's still not quite tight there, it's slack, so I just need to put this on here. Sorry, tighten that up there, and then didn't hit your hand, did I?
No.
No.
Just give it a shot.
You may shot as
Trying
well.
to get a good picture.
Good. When you're doing a grand job, keep it up. Tighten that up there, loosen that off. There we are, that's loose now. But that's tight. Oh, no, it still wants a little bit more. Just micro adjust it a little bit more. That's tight. Now, can you see, I've got a nice tight fit on there. That's slack. I can move the head back like that, and it slides nicely. But what I can also do is I can actually swing it round into the position that I want for being able to work outboard with the outboard extension that we've got on here. So I just swing it back. There, you can hear the bearings actually click in there. Did you hear that?
I did.
Click.
I thought it was your bones.
It could be. Right, I'm bringing this back to here. I'll tell you what I'm going to do before I do anything else. I'm going to put that locking nut into there, so I don't run the risk of going too far back and taking the head over the top. The locking nut can go into there, and then I've got my little spanner here. That spanner there will just lock that nut down in the bottom there, like that. I can bring the head back now to this point here. Now watch, because I've got that locking nut on there, can you see if I go to there, it stops it. That's the safety feature.
Yes.
That's on the lathe, so it kind of fall off and hurt us. So there we are. Lock that onto there, tighten that down to there. Now the only other thing I'll do is I'll put the centres in, and I'll do the kiss test to make sure that when I'm turned between centres, the kiss test is good. I'll show you how I do it, and I'll take that's my new magnetic light that goes on the back here, bring the banjo up to here, and I'll also bring the tailstock up to there as well. I'll loosen this off and swing that round to there, so as it's out of my road. Back to how it was before. Right, I need a centre in here, so I'll take the drive centre that comes with the Regent and the Envoy, wind it out, pop that into there, and then into here I need a drive centre, and that's the drive centre that comes with the Regent and Envoy. That's the revolving tailstock centre. Put them together, take that up to there. Now, can you see on there on the kiss test, the 2 points are not in line with each other, right? Now, can you also see where the head is on the bed? There's a gap here, and it's close at that point there. So what I need to do is loosen that off now, and I just need to carefully bring that round to here, there. Wind that onto there, so that we are point to point, There, can you see how that's bang on, point to point on there? Perfect. Then when I tighten this down like that, can you see it's actually point to point horizontal on, hang on a bit, I just need that little fraction. There, can you see, bang on,
That's it, yeah.
point to point. There we are, kiss test done, and we are good to go. And with that kiss test, what I've done is I've made sure that when I do a spindle, it's turned into round and we don't have an oval spindle. And for people new to turning, if that ever happens, just do the kiss test like I've just done there. So there we are, the bolt's replaced, and thank you again Record Power for sending it up to me. I hope when you get your bolt you manage to fit it as easy as I've done it there. But if you have any problems, call head office, speak to Craig or speak to any of the technical department, or drop me an email if you want to, and I'm sure between all of us we'll make sure that the job's a good one. So anyhow, bye for now.